Hey guys, Izzy and I are here and we're going to give you the final questions from the Unit 3 review guide. So we're going to start on the third page at number 5. This one is about another pizza place, and they give us the number of toppings, they give us the price, they ask us to find the equation. So how we're going to do this is to find any equation of a line, our handy dandy slope-intercept form. So the first thing we're going to do is find the slope. And they give me 2 points. They give me the toppings, which then is going to affect the price. So I could think of the toppings as x and the price as y. And then the other point they give me is 5 and then 15.25. So first thing I'm going to do is find the slope. So I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. And when you subtract the x's, you get 3. And then 15.25 minus 11.5 is 3.75. And then when I divide that by 3, you're going to get the slope, which is 1.25, which that's going to tell you right then and there that it's $1.25 per topping. So all of a sudden I have 1.25x plus b. And then what I'm going to do is, since we have 2 separate points, I only need one of them. I'm going to plug in the point I know with the slope I know, and I'm going to solve for b. So 1.25 times 2 is 2.5, 2 and 5 tenths. And then when I subtract 2 and 5 tenths from both sides, I end up with b equals 9. So there's my equation. Y equals 1 in 25 hundredths x plus 9. So the second question asks us, what is the price of a plain pizza? Well, that's going to be when there's no toppings. So I can look right here. When there's 0 toppings, the pizza still costs $9. So that's the cost of a plain pie. And the C says, how much does a 4-topping pizza cost? Well, all I need to do then is plug in a 4 for y, and you get $5, and so 4 times 1.25 is 5, and then 5 plus 9, you get y equals, because we're talking about the price, so y is 14. And the last one says graph this data. So I'm going to do a really rough sketch of a graph. You'll use graph paper. And remember, you're going to use tails, title, axis, intervals, labels. I can see that it needs to at least start at 9. So I might actually end up counting by 1s or 2s. I'm going to count by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's my y-intercept. And then every time I'm going to use the slope, which is up almost a little over 1, over 1. Up a little over 1, 1.25 over 1. And then from there, that would be the graph of my line. Remember, the x is the toppings, and the y would be the price. Number 6 gives us a point, and they give us another point, but you're missing the x-coordinate, but they give us the slope. And by giving us the slope, I know that I have a formula. So I can actually put all this information into an equation. Y minus y, negative 3 minus 1, over 2 minus r, we know is equal to 4. And I'm going to change that to 4 over 1, so I can solve the proportion. Well, simplifying this becomes negative 4. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply. 4 times 1 is negative 4, which equals, and then here when you cross multiply, you have to distribute the 4 to both. So 8 minus 4r. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to solve to get my answer of 3. Next one. Home security system provides a system for $5 a week plus an installation fee. The total fee for 12 weeks of service is $210. That's important information. They're telling us 12 weeks has a price of $210. So they're essentially giving us a point. And they already told us that it's $5 per week. So that's the rate of change. every week, so we'll make the weeks X and the price Y. So every week it's another $5, but I don't know what the initial cost was. However, I do have a point. So I can plug this point in for X and Y. 210 equals, and I have the slope, times 12 plus B. And that's going to help me find out what B is. Now I know my equation, Y equals $5 a week plus, it must have been a $150 installation fee. And that actually answers all the questions. But actually, no, it doesn't answer 55. It says write the point slope form. So the point slope form would have been y minus y, so 210, is equal to the slope, which we already know is 5, x minus 12. So this actually would have been the point slope form. This would have been the slope intercept form. And that helps us find out. The reason why we would want slope intercept form is because this equation doesn't actually tell us what the y-intercept is. All right, last one, 34, 35, and all the way to 37. I'm just going to show you one of them because you do 34 and 35 the same way you would do 36 and 37. It's just one's talking about men and one is talking about women. So number 34 says write a linear equation to predict when men will marry for any year. Well, they give us information. In 1970, they tell us that a man was an average age of 23.2. But then in 1998, they say that the average man was 26.7. Well, if you give us 2 points, we can actually write an equation. Going to find the slope by doing y minus y over x minus x. So when you subtract the x's, you get 18. When you subtract the y, you get 3.5. And when you do 3.5 divided by 18, you get an answer that actually goes on for quite a bit. So I'm checking my work to make sure I didn't make a mistake there. But no, it doesn't look like I did. It's 3.5 minus 18. Yeah. Divided by 18. Yeah, it doesn't look like I made any mistakes. You have the years on the bottom and you have the age at the top. So what we're gonna do is, because it's such a weird decimal, we're gonna keep it as a fraction. Y equals 3.5 over 18x, and then it says write an equation to couples married later, median age. So what we're going to do is, to find out the B, I'm going to have to again use one of my points. So I'm going to pick 1970 for x, and for y, 23.2. So the first thing I'm going to add B. So the first thing I'm going to do is 1970 times 3.5 over 18. And then I'm going to take that answer and subtract it from 23.2. And you end up with a B is about a negative 359.86. So there's our equation. Our equation is y equals Now, from there, when it says use the equation, predict the median age for 2005, all we need to do is put a 2005 in there. So 3.5 divided by 18 times 2005 minus 359.86, and you get about 30 years. Okay? And thank you guys, and please watch that video again, and I will also send you the PDF file of the other homework answers on the calendar.
Good luck, guys.